Hey guys, it's that time. Pick a story where in one of the decks or all of the decks could be a story or a message for you. So what I like to do is to hold each deck up to the camera, starting with deck number one. Could your story or message be here in deck number one? Or could your story or message be here in deck number two? Or could your story or message be here in deck number three? All right. I hope you have made your selection. We will go ahead and begin with deck number one. All right. We have the Devil, the Eight of Swords, the High Priestess, the Two of Cups, the Ten of Swords, overall energy, Page of Cups, the World, Page of Coins. Okay. All right, so I kind of feel as if maybe you had moved on from a situation. Maybe you decided to move on from a person, maybe a job. It does seem like, you had some kind of closure and had just come to the end of a cycle. But something's going on where I feel that Pandora's box is actually being open. I feel like you're trying to peek at something. You're curious about something. And whatever it is that you are curious about, I feel like is going to become addictive or consume you or take a hold of you in some way. Maybe you thought, or you're thinking that you're able to handle something. You're like, oh, if I just do a little bit, if I just try a little bit, if I just flirt a little bit, then I can handle it. But then it seems like before you know it, you've got to do something again. You've got to have more. You can't stop thinking about what you read or what you saw. So definitely seems like because of your curiosity that something may get a hold of you. Something, even depending on a situation, could get somebody into trouble and cause them to be locked up or detained. It almost makes me feel like if you were done with one situation and then you go back to it because you felt like you were over it. Let's say, for instance, it's a love situation. You're like, okay, I moved on from that person. I guess it's okay if I check their Facebook. I guess it won't be so bad if I reread that last text message they sent. Something happens and then all of a sudden you're hooked and you're like, okay, now I'm thinking about them again. I thought I was over them, blah, blah, blah. So that's just an example, but I just feel like, you thought you had closed or ended a cycle, and now here you are finding yourself dealing with another lesson, basically. Some sort of difficult lesson. It also could be that this is just like a new cycle for you. Like something is like a new beginning for you. And whatever it is that this new chapter in your life is, has to do with some sort of heavy karma, burdens, or obligations. Maybe you were once, free and had a lot of free time, and now you feel like your freedom is gone. You're like, well, I had freedom, about a month ago, but now I don't have freedom anymore. So it seems like something's going on where maybe you feel like you're trapped, stuck, or locked down. For some of you, this also could be like dealing with any type of sickness or illness. Something may be restricting your breathing. You also could be dealing with some sort of stomach issues, something like Crohn's or IBS. I feel too like something's going on where you feel silenced. Like maybe you took a vow of silence. But maybe it's hard being silent about something that you're a part of or something that you witnessed or saw. I feel like you want to speak about something, but you can't. I feel like you also are maybe needing to strategically figure out a way to get out of something that you got into. You're like, how do I get out of this? And I feel like maybe you're overwhelmed with trying to figure that out. I feel like you're having to do something in secret. For somebody, yeah. I don't know, what you're into or, but it does seem like maybe you have been invited to join some sort of secret group or organization, and you're having to participate in things that are very secret and that you're bound by some sort of secret. And maybe you feel like now you're being watched because it needs to be made sure that you keep what you partook in a secret. So yeah, for some of you, you could have been sworn in, or I just feel like something is bound, like you're bound by something. Relationships, any relationship that you're in or about to enter, definitely may come with some sort of heavy responsibility. Depending on your situation, maybe you view it as toxic. I don't think toxic and karmic are the same thing. I know people use that interchangeably, but I feel like everything is karma, honestly. Some karmic lessons are just difficult, some are not. But I feel like this is has the potential to be something toxic. But it depends on your situation. Either way, I feel that if anything feels overbearing for you, then you're going to need to set boundaries. You're going to know what your limits are and cut off a situation once it's crossed that boundary. For some of you, maybe it is about trying to cut cords to anything that has been binding you or toxic to you. Maybe you do feel like you're under some sort of spiritual attack. It does look like something is trying to suppress you. Something may be having you feeling suppressed, or oppressed rather. Like you can't say or do what you want to. Yeah, but if it's a love situation, it's kind of like you're bound, or it feels like you're bound. It could be addictive. It could be like a situation where it has moments where it's too much, and then there are moments where it just seems so beautiful. It also could be that these are two separate people or situations that I'm picking up. One person is toxic for you. One person would be good for you. Or it could be that once, at first you're needing to fulfill some sort of karmic obligation before the door can open for this more safe relationship. Seems like there's a need for you to let something go or release something. Maybe something isn't what it seems. I feel like somebody also may be dealing with a lot of anxiety. It could be depression too, but it feels like mental anxiety where somebody just can't really think straight or see straight. And then if it is not you, it could be that there's someone around you going through this. Maybe they're venting to you and telling you what they're feeling or going through. I feel like someone has also become too codependent on readings and not trusting or listening to their intuition, including if you are someone who pulls your own cards. You might be too codependent on reading your cards instead of just like letting something play out. Like you asked, one time, maybe two times, and then after that let things play out, but you're going back over and over again. I kind of feel like someone is also plagued by thoughts of somebody. It just seems like a lot. Maybe you are having a hard time letting someone go and you're starting to wonder, are they doing something to you? You're like, are they doing something to make me think of them all the time? Now, I was also getting some things in regards to metaphysical experiences at night. Like you might feel that you're witnessing some sort of unusual things in the sky or in your personal space. It just seems like there's some things that you're witnessing. Maybe you're hearing sounds. Maybe you're waking up in the middle of the night and you're seeing something, on the ceiling, something moving around, like you can't quite you don't know what it is. You're like, what is this I'm seeing? And then you're just trying to go back to sleep and brush off whatever it is that you saw. Especially too if you are into things like UFOs or interdimensional beings, things of that sort. You might feel like you're coming into contact with something. You also could be suffering or experience sleep paralysis. Oh God, here I go again. I feel like you could be suffering from that this week at some point. Or that other thing where they said feel the witches riding your back, I think. Like when you feel like you're spinning and then it stops and then it's a weird sensation. It's like a spin and then it stops and then it feels like it's like still vibrating and then it spins and stops and does like the same thing. I used to get that a lot when I was a child. Okay, so I am getting the energy of being watched. Something seems like it has to do with dreams. So like astral projection. Remote viewing. Someone also could be abusing their power or gift. Matter of fact, if you do feel drained for no reason or out of the blue, it's very possible that someone is heavily in your energy, like doing a lot of readings on you, doing some sort of, sexual things or sex magic or meditating on you. Like someone might be pulling your energy, even if it's unintentional, like they're just doing so much that you can start to feel it, especially if you are an empath. So you might need to cleanse your energy or demand that they stop. Demand your power back. You also might become obsessed with astrology or your birth chart, looking into things. I really feel like somebody is digging. Somebody's doing a lot of digging and a lot of research. It's to the point where it's obsessive though. It could be any sign. I feel like all the signs are out, so it could be any sign. A coworker might be a little obsessed with you. Or somebody that's at a distance. Now I keep getting something about the image, that depicted image of Jesus. I don't know if someone is researching that like hardcore. I feel like this is actually kind of good if you are writing something, especially, you know, science fiction, horror, or even love. And you definitely could be feeling consumed at your job. In a love situation, you may have several secret admirers, all with the same trait, whereas they seem to suffer from some sort of anxiety. It's like severe anxiety, where they really want to communicate with you, but they can't speak. It's like a mental block. All they have to do is speak or reach out or say something, and they can't, but it's a mental block. Something kind of seems like past life related. And I've had this type of image before, where like somebody was held captive by another person. I don't know if it's like prisoner of war or if it is slave owner. I'm getting something about somebody feeling restricted. Like if in a previous life you restricted someone, it's like in this life you feel restricted, or that is somehow like tied into your biggest fear about speaking. Like in a previous life you cut somebody's tongue out for speaking, and now this life maybe your tongue isn't cut out, but you experience what that person felt. I feel like there's a need for you to be quiet and sort out your thoughts in regards to something. Or maybe this is what someone is doing to you. They can't say anything. They've got to wait for whatever reason. I feel like someone's also waiting to find out if they're pregnant. And someone's waiting to find out something about their mother, or their mother is hiding something from them. But it might be about herself. Like there's something the mother is hiding about herself that she hasn't shared with her child. And that could be anything. Matter of fact, I feel like someone very close to you is keeping a secret. Someone is thinking about leaving a situation. So someone might be thinking about leaving a job. Somebody might be thinking about leaving a relationship. A darker thing that I don't want to say, but I feel like somebody is thinking about leaving this world. Now, I don't know if it's necessarily about harming themselves, but it could just more so be like, I can't wait to get off of this planet. I feel like somebody is in desperate need of peace and quiet, or just peace in general. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, those are all the messages that I'm getting for those of you that picked deck number 1. We'll go ahead and move on to deck number 2. We have 7 of Wands, Death, Queen of Cups, the World, Judgment, overall energy, the Moon, Ace of Cups, oh, 6 of Pentacles. Okay, so, okay, I'm already seeing some sort of mental imbalance or emotional imbalance or instability, mood swings. You might have a bit of an emotional roller coaster within the next week. I feel like one moment you feel at peace, you just feel good, you know, maybe things seem in alignment, and then all of a sudden you are feeling overwhelmed and, in a sense, like maybe crying out for help. You also may be needing to learn how to let go or forgive someone. Something may be weighing heavily on your heart. Overall, I just feel like there could be a lot of anxiety or heavy emotions that you're dealing with. Some things that maybe you had forgotten about or had tried not to think about resurfaces. And it could be because of, you know, you're listening to some sort of music, or you're watching a movie, or you're having a conversation. If something triggers you emotionally and it kind of feels like, where did that come from? So it's like something is buried emotionally, like you buried something away, but it finds its way back up to the top. You also may be dealing with some sort of confusion. Like, I feel like you're confused about some things. Your intuition or your psychic abilities definitely could be heightened this week, which can be confusing because you could be feeling fine and then out of the blue you feel so emotional, and then come to find out that your best friend is going through something heavy, the world is going through. Something terrible just happened in the world, but you just found out about it. Like something's going on where I feel like it hits you emotionally, like you're going to feel something before it happens. And you think it's you might think it's, your situation, but it's actually coming from somewhere else. So you may need to try to ground yourself or prepare yourself, because I just feel that emotionally you could be shook. You are also needing to confront your fears so that they don't consume you. Yeah. Another thing, before I get into that, I feel like another thing you might be experiencing is a spirit around you that is sad, and you might not recognize it. You just might think it's you, but there could be some sort of sad spirit lingering around. And maybe too, the spirit is bothering you because it's aware that you're sensitive and that you can feel its energy. So it's going to continue to make its presence known. So there may be a need for you to help guide a spirit out of your home or your space. And it does seem like there's going to be some sort of ending or transformation that you're going to be dealing with. A lot of time, I've talked about this before, a lot of times where I kind of feel like some sort of doom, a sense of doom, or unexplained anxieties. Like there was a point where like I would be asleep at night and I could wake up hearing an airplane going by and just like swear to God that it's about to crash through our house, stuff like that. And it's just like so real. And it's just like if you were to tell if I were to call somebody and be like, there's a plane about to crash through my room, that person would be like, you're being paranoid, calm down. You might be experiencing something like that. So kind of like extreme paranoia. But what I did learn from that is a lot of times where I feel that way is that is my higher self trying to tell me that something's coming to an end. And it doesn't have to be, I ask spirit, I don't want to predict anybody's death, but it does or has represented something changing for good. It's like, oh, like 2 weeks later, you've got to move. Oh, you just found out that, your friend lost it might be something like that around me. So, maybe like I said, it's something happening around you where you actually are feeling what somebody else is going through. Maybe it's, all of a sudden you find out that your job or position has ended. Like something's going on where I feel like your senses are definitely picking up something that's getting ready to happen, and you kind of need to just be prepared to go through some sort of changes or endings. Maybe if you're in a relationship and you kind of feel like something might be about to end or you're about to break up, it might actually happen. I also feel like there's, strong water energy around you. So Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. You might be dealing with people who have like a lot of like heavy energy, very deep emotional people. And something else I was kind of picking up as soon as I saw this was a near-death experience. And I don't know if that's saying that's something that's going to happen, or it's talking a message for those of you that have already gone through like a near-death experience. I would say, as a warning, of course, just be extra cautious, especially if you do have to go under the knife. And what is it that they give you? Anesthesia. Like if you're about to go under some sort of anesthesia. In a sense, that is kind of like near death. This also could just be your dreams being like, to you, well, you describe it as a dream, but really at the core, you feel like you were really somewhere else, so you really died. Like something like that could happen, you know, since they do say sleep is the cousin of death. Or was that just Nas that said that? I don't know. But, you know, that could be it. You know, it's just like you're going to having some sort of very strange underworld experiences. Maybe you feel like you are experiencing going through the underworld. And then you wake up and you kind of like tell everybody what you saw, what you witnessed. You're like, oh, I know what it's like in the underworld. You know, I saw it. This was revealed to me. And speaking of that right quick, if you do have some sort of experience like that, try not to force that idea on everybody. Maybe that is true for your experience, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that's what it's going to be like for everybody. But yeah, I kind of feel like maybe someone could go through some sort of underworld experience. Now, if this is just in regards to just some other things, emotional things that you're having to face or deal with, it still seems like something does come back to life or resurrect, or it resumes. So if you had cut off communication with someone, it's very possible that just all of a sudden there you hear from them. It's like, where have you been? Like I thought I would never hear from you again. You know, how did you find me? Or how did we run into each other? This is crazy. You know, so it just seems like a situation that you thought was just like over comes back to life. Maybe your career died and is about to resurrect. Maybe you feel like you've reached rock bottom, but you know, you come back to life. You know, both of these indicate that there's going to be some sort of rise again after having fallen or feeling down. You'll rise again. And then too, this can relate to other mundane things, you know, your phone getting cut off, your cable, your lights, your gas, like something could get cut off and then turned back on. Also, I feel like there's going to be a new beginning come Capricorn season. There's going to be a major change, like maybe starting a new career or relocating, or someone moving in with you. For some of you, it does seem like your job is a dead end. And it may be time for you to go in a different direction. It kind of seems like you're having a hard time to see into the future, or like you can't see something just yet, or maybe all that you can see is that something is changing. If there are rumors about something happening at your company, you might be scrambling, trying to find something else before that happens. I kind of feel like maybe you're trying to secure a situation before it happens. It's possible something also could literally be unearthed, like a body being exhumed. Definitely seems like there could be some sort of travel. Okay, you may have tried to end communication with somebody or block somebody. Maybe you've been dreaming about them or feel like this person's trying to come back into your life. It's very possible that someone is trying to find you, but maybe you've blocked them, or maybe your page is private. Maybe you changed your number. But I feel like someone is wanting to find you. If someone comes back into your life saying that they've changed, I believe they have. But it's up to you whether or not you want to give that person the opportunity to see if they have or not. It doesn't just have to be romantic either. It could be something else. Somebody that you stopped talking to a while ago, and then they come back and they're like a different person. And I also feel that somebody may need a place to stay. So somebody may be losing their home, or something about their living situation has changed, or maybe there's going to be some sort of changes to their building where they need a place to stay for a while. Especially too if it's like family or extended family, especially. Also, if someone comes back into your life that you haven't heard from, I feel like this person is going through a breakup. but I kind of feel like you were the first person that they thought of, or it was like, if it doesn't work out with me and this person, I know who I'm calling. I know who I've been thinking about. And I feel like that person might reach out to you. Unless it, could be reverse. You're the one that's like, I already know who I'm thinking about if this relationship doesn't work out. It seems though, either way, that something's getting ready to change in your life, your status, or I also feel if there's some sort of money due to you, you'll receive it, or you're about to hear about this money that is owed to you. You'll get an update. Also, maybe someone is requiring your response, or you are waiting for someone's response. All right, so let's move on to deck number 3. You have 7 of Cups, 5 of Swords, the Devil, Princess of Cups, the Magnus, overall energy, 10 of Pentacles, 8 of Cups, 3 of Pentacles. All right, so I feel like the overall energy is about having some sort of security or stability. I also feel that your foundation is being strengthened. It may have also fallen apart. Something could have fallen apart, only to be rebuilt. I feel like you guys have some money or finances coming in though. I feel like something is about wealth building. I don't know too. It seems like maybe at some point there was something missing in your life. Something has not been fulfilling. Or like your job gives you financial stability, but emotionally you're not feeling it. And maybe hoping to find something else. I kind of feel like there's money to be made. Something's happening where I feel like you are turning your emotions into money. So I don't know how that's going to manifest for you. I always like, my first mind goes to creativity. So if you're a songwriter, if you are a performer, if you write, I feel that those people are the ones that transmute their sadness, their emotions into getting paid for it. So that's like the first thing that comes to mind when I think about getting paid for your emotions. If you are some sort of performer, especially acting, I feel that someone is trying to manifest an Oscar or may even receive one. But it can be any award. But I was really getting Oscar. I feel like somebody's going to get an Oscar. Now, of course, that includes too, even if you work in editing, like maybe you're not like in the camera, but maybe you work in editing, or you're a sound engineer, or you wrote a song for whatever. I just feel like somebody can win an Oscar. Or maybe, you know, you worked with a team of people who will, or maybe you're very close friends with somebody who's going to be the recipient of an award. Now, relationship wise, somebody is not happy. Something may be a facade. Someone may be holding on to a relationship out of obligation. They feel stuck or trapped. They're holding on to it for status. They're not happy. And I do feel that someone may end up having an affair. Yeah, I feel like someone's definitely thinking about it, or could be in a position where they're being tempted. They're like, this doesn't make it easier because my relationship, I'm not happy in it. And being put in this situation is difficult. So, yeah. I'm concerned for, you know, people who are in relationships but aren't really happy in it. I'm also getting someone who is maybe intentionally trying to spite someone or cause jealousy. I kind of feel like maybe someone is wanting to be seen. Something is coming off like a performance. It's like a distraction. Someone is creating some sort of an illusion or distraction. Again, that's good for anything creative, artistic, but not if it's dealing with someone's personal life. I just kind of feel like maybe someone is trying to distract themselves. It's like, you know, somebody is putting a band-aid over a wound that is much deeper than that. It's like a band-aid is not going to fix that. Like, we've got to clean out the core. So I feel like at some point somebody needs to deal with a situation, an unhealthy situation. Someone also, I hate to bring this news, but I do feel like maybe somebody is covering something up about their sexuality. Now, this message is not going to be for everybody. This should only be for those of you that kind of were suspicious of that, or if this is your story. But I do feel like maybe someone is either fluid or bisexual, or they just really haven't put a label on it. But they aren't yet ready to just be open about that. So they're, you know, pretending. Also, yeah, as a warning, be careful who you sleep with, because I'm getting something. And I'm so sorry, but you know, some of these messages are a little scary today, but you know, I feel like just be careful. I'm not just saying, oh, this person, they're sick, you know, they're going to give you a disease. I'm not saying that 100%, but I do feel like you should at least take heed to that. And I'm not even saying that if indeed someone does have something that is incurable, it could just be something that can be cleared up with medication. Health-wise in general, I kind of feel that whatever is wrong is hard to diagnose because it mimics a lot of other things. I'm not a doctor, but I kind of feel like there is an autoimmune disorder that's hard to diagnose because it mimics, a lot of times autoimmune diseases, they mimic other things. So I feel like something is just kind of hard to diagnose because of that. So I do feel like you guys are trying to stabilize your health as well, physically, spiritually, and emotionally, like all of that. Like, I feel like you guys are needing to stabilize your health. Okay, I'm hearing the name Lloyd. So I don't know if that means anything to anybody. I also feel that something is hidden in plain sight. There's a cover, or there's something maybe going on in the media that's like right there in your face, but it's an illusion. You may be confused about how you feel about an air sign, or maybe they feel this way about you. It may be hard to read how somebody feels about you as well. Someone definitely could be sending mixed signals. Seems too like you are going to be dealing with temptation. You feel like, I feel like you're having to set boundaries, but you're dealing with temptation. Something could also be happening at work where you're trying to remain professional or cordial, but there's some sort of intense chemistry there beneath the surface. Somebody can lie to you with a straight face. Yeah, somebody is very good at that. They have a very good poker face. I feel like even if you were to confront somebody about something that they're going to move the pieces around. They're very good at deflecting. I feel like you're also having a hard time using discernment. Something's going on where it's just like emotionally, I feel like you're having a hard time seeing something for what it is, or seeing someone for who they are. Or maybe you don't want to believe that. You also could be lying to yourself about some things. If someone isn't lying to you, you could still be your own worst enemy. somebody might become offended at something you say or do, or you feel that way towards somebody. Either way, I feel like there could be some sort of misunderstanding or miscommunication. Someone reads the situation incorrectly. Especially like either thinking someone likes you when they don't, or that thinking that someone doesn't like you when they do. Those two signals I feel like are going to be confusing. I also feel like a situation is hard to read because several people are in on the same lie. I feel like several people are in on the same lie, so it's going to be hard to get a clear read on something. It's like it's being blocked. I'm getting a name Tony for somebody. Either somebody is going to be consumed by envy. I don't know if it's you or another person, but I feel like somebody is being consumed by envy. I'm also feeling like somebody is smiling in your face, but they don't really like you. Okay, I'm concerned about, you dealing with some sort of negative or dark energies, including being judged or some sort of racism. Discrimination. Somebody is coming off as knowing better than you. Honestly, I feel that both parties could end up letting their pride get in the way. And it might be a matter where it's not who's wrong or right. It's just a matter of one person's views or their reality versus yours. And instead of just being like, okay, that is what you believe and I accept that, is more so like trying to push beliefs on the other person. So I don't know. It could be both. I feel like both people might end up doing that. So just try to watch how you approach situations, because usually when I get this, both people are guilty. Not, again, not necessarily saying one person's wrong and the other person's right, just more so unable to just be like, agree to disagree. Like, just agree to disagree instead of trying to force and say, no, my way is right. Romantically, I kind of feel that there's a on-off situation going on. It's a love-hate situation. One minute you're in love with each other, and the next minute you hate each other. You can't stand each other. It's very confusing. I feel too like somebody does not want to have feelings for who they have feelings for because it's taboo, or at least to the family or to the general public. So I feel like somebody needs to think for themselves and not worry about what other people are going to say, think, judge. Also, I know I said somebody doesn't like you, but they're pretending. Somebody might be more so upset with you, but they're not saying it. They're just smiling and pretending that they're okay. Especially if this person holds a grudge. I'm also getting something about Adonis, but look up the name of that and see what it means, if anything about that name rings true to you. So I do feel like someone is putting on a performance or an act. I feel like something's going on. Someone is trying to hide or cover up their emotions or their true feelings. Yep. I feel that a love interest refuses to acknowledge their attraction to you or their love for you, but you also might mirror that energy. You might feel like, well, I don't care, I'm not about to acknowledge you either, or admit that I love you either. And, it could be some sort of stagnant energy in regards to love. Something is a cover, or someone is putting something on the cover, going back to truth being hidden in plain sight. Someone's also definitely pretending because they don't have the courage to say how they truly feel, or someone feels like they can only express themselves when they are their alter ego or in character. Somebody's like, I can say this when I'm in character, but not as my true self. And it kind of makes me think of, like, what did I see this on? I don't know if this is from a movie, a TV show, or a real thing that psychologists do, where they're trying to get a child to open up, and they're like, why don't you take these two puppets and this be you and this be the babysitter and show me what the babysitter did. You know, it's just kind of like, oh, okay, I'm not about to directly tell you that somebody is doing this to me, and I just told you no a bunch of times that this person didn't hurt me, but I'm about to reenact what actually happened. You know, so I kind of feel like, you know, somebody just feels like they have to do something in character. You know, they can only tell the truth while they're in character. All right, so hopefully these messages help, but feel free to leave your feedback. Thank you guys for watching. Sending you love and grace.